Hey y'all, welcome back. Yeah, it's really me, 420 Shorty, and I have my blank canvas getting ready to do some bright blue. So, I thought my last video was a little short. Yes, I was excited about my seeds, but really, how much can you say about seeds? So, I thought I would show y'all what I do to get my tent cleaned up from last year's harvest. You're going to get to see how dirty I had to leave it. But me, I like to spend more time with my kids, being a single mom. I like to spend a lot more time with my kids because who knows when you're going to get to, how much time you're going to get to spend with them, right? If they grow up too quick. So I thought I would clean up my grow room now as opposed to back at Christmas time and all that when I probably could have, but I wanted to spend some more time with it. So that being said, I wanted to get to show you, I like to make sure my fans are working really well. So I have in and out ventilation. I like to make sure my circulation fan's running well and it gets cleaned up. I also like to make sure that my lights get hung in a place where they can easily be adjusted so they can go up and down with the height of the plants because you don't want to put them outside too early. If they're too small, a lot of stuff can happen to them and you don't really want to stunt them or shock them. So you want to wait till they're really good size. I like to wait till mine are like a couple feet tall and then put them out there. And I also like to make sure I clean up my trays and clean off all my tables. And again, clean the floor for sure because y'all will see that in a second. And yeah, and I like to make sure that I get my fans running and my heater just to make sure that if it does get cold, I have a way to keep them warm. Usually what I do though is I like to set up my mats and not have a heater as much as possible unless it's going to get below freezing. But just having the mat below and putting the domes on at night, it seems to work really well here. We do have a pretty mild winter, so our spring, actually it gets way too hot before it gets too cold usually. So here, let's try the fans. I have no idea what these guys are going to be like right now. These are pretty old fans. So let's see here. Alright, fan number one. Nice. Seems like the intake fan works well right now. Just got to clean it up. Alright, let's see. Exit fan. Sounds a little rattly. I can probably fix that. Let it run for a minute. And I know my other fan works, it just needs to be cleaned up. And I'm going to unplug those since I know they work, just for the sake of being able to be heard. And let me grab the camera and show you all the rest of the time. Now, this last year we had a lot of flooding again, so I had to put a bunch of my storage stuff. It's all my tent and grow stuff. It's all my thermostats and all that. So I'm going to move these to a better spot. But you can see the floor is pretty messy. And I do wipe down the walls too, just because I like to make sure that there's no spider mites just living up there. And here's my drying rack. And you can see up here I had to hang a bunch of strings for my drying purposes last year. So I took my light down, and I don't know if y'all can see it, but last year I already had some chains up, and I had them up on two different attachments for the light to hang. And this year I think I'm going to use the one that actually came with it, and I'm going to hang it by one, and that way it'll be easier if I want to raise or lower them, and that way it can just be easier for me. And you can see down here I keep all my mats and my heater. Well, my heater box, my heater, I just took it out and it does work actually. And so I just wanted to make sure everything was in good working order. And that's actually a dehydrator, or a dehumidifier, excuse me. And I like to make sure that I have everything cleaned up. I might just keep the drying rack up in case I need to just do other stuff, like, have a couple of racks of storage just for little things. But as long as it's cleaned up, it's no big deal. And I just like to have it as clean as possible just because, you don't want some old bugs or whatever living in all that stuff. And being able to get into your little babies, you like them to be as healthy as you can when you put them in. So I'm really excited about getting to clean up around here, and I'm really happy with my exit and entrance fans here. See, my back one over here is the intake of air, and this one is my exit of air. And so because it gets so hot here at night, and I'm going to be running this for, so I have like 16 to 18 hours of light, or actually this over here, I'll be running for that long. But because I want light that long in the day so they can have that much light, I want to be able to have my fans up here to circulate the air, because you don't want to keep your tent open and have the light on, because at night all the bugs will come in. So to keep all that from happening, you like to be able to have screens over your fans, which I need to put another one up over this one. And I like to have my lights up proper, and I like to have all of my stuff cleaned up and have everything good to go for when we do our seeds. Here, I'll sit this down real quick. So I hope y'all keep I hope y'all keep tuning in.